What's going on, everybody? Caleb here with the NR2003 Hub, and this is 5 NR2003 mods that you should try if you haven't already. Kicking the list off with one of my personal favorite mods for NR2003, you have DMR Cup 12, and to extent Cup 11 and Cup 10, created by the folks over at DesignModsRacing.com. And these mods reflect an era where I was starting to get into the sport of NASCAR, so it definitely holds a bit of a soft spot for me. But honestly, I think these cars just look really, really good, and this mod absolutely does this era of the sport justice. These cars look very, very nice. They have good detail, a lot of customization to them. There's a lot of stuff you can do with the templates. There's even like a little dash decal inside the car that you can paint to your liking, which is pretty cool. But there's also a lot of optional files that you can download for this mod to kind of tinker it how you like it. And I think that's definitely very, very neat. There's also pace car files, so you can make your own pace car for this game with just the download of a template. I mean, just has a lot of great stuff to it. Like I said, the cars look very nice, very detailed. The damage model for this mod looks great as well. And there's a lot of cars and car sets that are available for this mod as well. So just a fantastic mod all around, and like I said, definitely has a bit of a soft spot for me with this being the era that I was starting to get into the sport of NASCAR as a whole. Switching gears here just for a minute, no pun intended, heading over to the IndyCar scene. We're going to talk about the latest IndyCar mod available by the guys over at NascarFunFacts.com at the NFF Indy 2020 mod, and this is definitely quite the mod indeed. Of course, the most distinct IndyCar mod, at least nowadays, with the Aero screen and all that, so the most up-to-date, and I think this mod also really does it justice. These cars look so nice. They're incredibly detailed, both inside the cockpit and out, and just all look good. There's a lot of customization to it too as well. You can choose between both of the kits, and you can also kind of vary in detail of whether or not it is a player car that'll be a bit more detailed or the AI car is a bit less, so it can be a bit easier on PCs. But this mod just looks so great. The damage model has kind of its own little quirks. You can pop off the wheels from the car, and you can even pop off the nose if you do too much damage to it, which I think is kind of neat. But just a fantastic mod by the NFF group all around, and I think really helps sell the show for just how intricate and just awesome modern Indy cars are. Moving right along here, moving back to the stock car scene, we have the 2005 Cup Series mod, and by extent the 04 and 03 Cup, as well as their Grand National Series counterparts, all developed by the folks over at Splash and Go Graphics. And this is also another one of my personal favorite mods for NR2003. These cars just look so good. There's definitely a bit of an upgrade from the default cars that came with NR2003, and these just look so incredibly detailed. It has a lot of fender flare like we saw from the old car, especially with like the Twisted Sister concepts and everything like that. But these cars look so great. And like I said, there's a couple different mods developed by Splash and Go, each kind of just with their own little intricate quirks from the year that they are based on, 03, 04, 05. They're all very similar, but just have their own little characteristics to kind of set them apart from the other years. One of the big changes is, of course, the change of the Dodge body, which definitely quite interesting there. But yay, this is a very good mod, and really does this era of cars justice. Like I said, cars look good. Damage model looks awesome on these cars as well. A really great mod from Splash and Go. And speaking of folks over at Splash and Go, moving along, we have the Winston Cup 98 mod, also developed by Splash and Go Graphics. And, I mean, this is another great mod developed by them. Of course, 1998 was a big time for NASCAR, just that era, the late 90s, early 2000s as a whole. Especially 1998 was a big year for the sport. Of course, this was the year that Dale Earnhardt finally, after 20 years of trying, 20 years of frustration, won the Daytona 500. And this was a really big time for the sport. Honestly, arguably the heyday for the sport, and I think this mod really goes to show. These cars look really good, have some nice customization, kind of just like DMR Cup 12. You can customize a bit of a dash decal. It looks like how dash decals looked back in the late 90s, which I think is very nice touch. But yeah, these cars look great. The damage model of this car looks great. And Splash and Go has made a lot of great mods for NR2003. Of course, they made the last two that I've talked about. They made MENCS 17, 18, and 19, which are also all fantastic mods. They made the Pinties mod, which is definitely some other mods I would recommend checking out. But yeah, some very great mods that are made by the folks over at Splash and Go Graphics, that is for certain. And last but certainly not least here in this list, going to talk about one of arguably the foundation stones for the NR2003 modded community as a whole. We have the Aero 88 mod developed by the folks over at the Pits. And this mod was released all the way back in 2004. And like I said, really helped shape the template for future NR2003 mod makers. This mod was really a generational drop. And even to today, I think it holds up quite well. The cars themselves look really, really good. It definitely was a very unique era of NASCAR with the car bodies. Of course, the tire war that was going on, the aerodynamics war, which, you know, the name of the mod implies, and this mod just looks really, really good, even, would it be 21 years later? And so the cars look good. Even with how old the mod is, there's a lot of stuff available for them. There's a lot of different templates. You can still get car viewer files, render files. Absolutely a foundational mod for the upcoming NR2003 modding community. And even though it is quite old, it has aged absolutely gracefully and still to this day looks absolutely stunning. And there you have it. That is 5 NR2003 mods that I would recommend y'all check out if you haven't already. If y'all did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know what you all would potentially like to see come to the channel next. But with all that being said, thank you all so much for tuning in, and I will see you all next time. But until then, you all take care, and have a good one.